I had to say goodbye to someone I love, my best friend from childhood. He died. We hadn't spoken in 10 years, and now we never will. If you've ever lost someone you used to be close to, comment goodbye below. I'm recording this because I need to talk about it, about losing him, about the 10 years we didn't speak, about all the things I never said, about waiting too long, about thinking I had more time. This is about friendship, about how you can be everything to each other and then become strangers, about how time passes, about how you think you'll reconnect someday, and then someday never comes. His name was Michael. We met when we were 7 years old. First day of school. He sat next to me. We became friends immediately. That simple friendship that children have, where you just like each other, no reason, no complicated history, just, I like you, you like me, we're friends now. We were inseparable growing up, best friends, did everything together, school, sports, weekends, summers. We were at each other's houses constantly. His parents knew me. My parents knew him. We were like brothers, closer than brothers sometimes. We had that friendship where you don't have to explain things, where you understand each other without words, where you can be quiet together and it's comfortable, where you know what the other person is thinking just by looking at them. We told each other everything, dreams, fears, problems at home, problems at school, first crushes, first heartbreaks, everything. There were no secrets, no judgment, just friendship. Pure friendship, the kind you only have when you're young, before life gets complicated. We promised we'd be friends forever, that nothing would change, that no matter what happened, we'd always be there for each other. We meant it, really meant it. We couldn't imagine a life where we weren't friends. Things started changing in our 20s, not dramatically, not with a fight or a falling out, just gradually, life pulling us in different directions. I started a company, started working all the time, every hour, every day, focused completely on building something, on succeeding, on proving myself. Michael went a different direction, got a normal job, got married young, started a family, lived a quieter life, a simpler life, nothing wrong with it, just different from mine. We still talked, still saw each other, but less often, not every week anymore, not even every month, just occasionally, when we had time, when schedules aligned, when life allowed. And each time we saw each other, it was good. We picked up right where we left off, laughed about old memories, talked about our lives, made plans to see each other more often, plans we didn't keep. The gaps between seeing each other got longer. Months became 6 months, 6 months became a year became longer, and each time we said, we should get together more. We should call more often. We should stay in touch better. But we didn't. Life was busy. I was busy. He was busy. There was always something more urgent. Always something that needed attention right now. Always a reason to postpone. The last time we spoke was 10 years ago. I remember it clearly now. Wish I'd paid more attention then. Wish I'd known it was the last time. We met for coffee, just caught up, talked about our lives. My companies were doing well. His family was good. His kids were growing. Normal conversation, normal catch-up, nothing special. Nothing that felt like goodbye. At the end, we did what we always did. Said we should do this more often. Should stay in touch better. Made vague plans to get together again soon. Hugged. Said goodbye. See you soon. But we didn't see each other soon. Weeks passed. Then months. I kept meaning to call. Kept thinking, I should reach out to Michael, see how he's doing, catch up properly. Not just coffee, but real time together, like we used to have. But I didn't call. I was busy. Always busy. Always something else that needed my attention. Always tomorrow. Always next week. Always soon. And he didn't call either. Maybe he was busy too. Maybe he was waiting for me to call. Maybe he thought the same things I thought. I should reach out. I will. Soon. Just not today. Years passed. 5 years. 7 years. 10 years. And we never spoke. Never saw each other. Became people who used to be friends. People with shared history but no current relationship. Strangers who once knew everything about each other. I found out he died from Facebook. Someone posted about it. A mutual friend from childhood saying Michael had passed away, heart attack, sudden, he was only 53, leaving behind his wife and 3 children. I sat there staring at the post, reading it over and over, not believing it, not understanding it. Michael? Dead? My best friend from childhood? Gone? I looked at his Facebook profile. We weren't even friends on there. Hadn't been for years. I don't even remember if we unfriended each other or just never connected. But I looked at his page, saw pictures of his life, his family, his kids grown up, his wife, his home, a whole life I knew nothing about, a whole decade I'd missed. And I realized, he's gone. My best friend from childhood is gone. And I never reached out, never reconnected, never said the things I meant to say. Never had that conversation I kept planning to have. 10 years of thinking someday, and now someday is never. I went to the funeral, felt strange being there, like I didn't have a right, like I'd lost that right by not being there for 10 years. But I went anyway, because he was my friend, had been my friend, even if we hadn't spoken. His wife recognized me, came over, hugged me, said, "Michael talked about you, mentioned you sometimes, wondered how you were doing." That hurt to know he thought about me, wondered about me, while I was too busy to call, too focused on other things to reach out, too caught up in my own life to maintain the friendship. I met his children, adults now. I'd never met them, never knew them. They knew about me. Their father had told them stories, about his best friend from childhood, about the things we did, about our friendship, but they'd never met me, because I hadn't been there. I looked at pictures at the funeral, pictures of Michael's life, his wedding, his children as babies, as kids, as teenagers, as adults, family vacations, holidays, celebrations, ordinary moments, a whole life. And I wasn't in any of those pictures, wasn't part of any of those moments, because I hadn't been there. I wish I'd called. That's the simple answer. I wish I'd picked up the phone and called him. Not someday, not when I had time, just called, made time, made it a priority. I wish I'd said, "I miss you. I miss our friendship. I miss having you in my life. Let's not let more time pass. Let's actually get together, actually stay in touch, actually be friends again, not just people who used to be friends." I wish I'd apologized for not being there, for not staying in touch, for letting years pass without contact, for being too busy, for making excuses, for not prioritizing our friendship. I wish I'd told him what he meant to me, what our friendship meant, how important he was in my life, how much I valued what we had, how grateful I was for all those years of friendship when we were young. I wish I'd asked about his life, really asked, really listened, learned about his children, his wife, his work, his dreams, his concerns, his life. All the things I knew nothing about because I hadn't asked, hadn't been there, hadn't cared enough to stay connected. But I didn't do any of those things. I waited, postponed, thought I had time, thought someday I'd reach out, someday we'd reconnect, someday we'd rebuild what we had. And someday never came. I learned that friendships don't maintain themselves. They require effort, attention, time. You can't just assume they'll always be there, that you can ignore them for years and they'll still exist. They won't. They fade. They disappear. They become memories instead of relationships. I learned that someday is dangerous. Someday I'll call. Someday I'll visit. Someday I'll reconnect. Someday becomes never, because there's always something else. Always a reason to postpone. Always tomorrow, until there are no more tomorrows. I learned that being busy isn't an excuse. Everyone is busy. Everyone has responsibilities. Everyone has demands on their time. But you make time for what matters. And if you don't make time for people, they stop mattering. They disappear from your life. And sometimes they die before you realize what you've lost. I learned that pride is stupid. I didn't call because I thought, he hasn't called either. He could reach out too. Why is it always on me? That pride, that stubbornness, that keeping score. It cost me 10 years, cost me a friendship, cost me ever talking to my best friend again. I learned that you can't fix things after someone dies. Can't apologize, can't explain, can't reconnect, can't rebuild. All you can do is regret. Regret the time you wasted, the calls you didn't make, the words you didn't say, the friendship you didn't maintain? If you have someone like this in your life, someone you used to be close to, someone you haven't talked to in years, someone you keep meaning to reach out to, do it now. Not someday, not when you have time, not after you finish whatever you're busy with. Now, today. Call them, text them, write to them. Reach out however you can. Say, I've been thinking about you. I miss our friendship. I'm sorry I haven't been in touch. Can we talk? Can we reconnect? Can we be friends again? It might be awkward, might be uncomfortable, might feel strange after so much time. That's okay. Awkward is better than never. Uncomfortable is better than too late. Strange is better than regret. They might not respond, might not want to reconnect, might have moved on. That's okay too. At least you tried. At least you reached out. At least you won't spend the rest of your life wondering, what if I had called? What if I had tried? But they might respond, might be happy to hear from you, might have been thinking about you too, might have been waiting for you to reach out just like you were waiting for them, and you might rebuild something. Not what it was, you can't go back, but something new, something good, something better than the nothing you have now. I'm reaching out to people, old friends I've lost touch with, people I used to be close to, people I keep meaning to call but never do. I'm calling them, now, before more time passes, before it's too late, before someone else dies and I have more regrets. Some haven't responded, some weren't interested, some had moved on. That's okay, that happens, but some have responded, some were happy to hear from me. Some have become friends again. Not like we were. We're different now. Life has changed us, but we're connected again, and that's something. That's better than nothing. That's better than regret. I wish I'd done this 10 years ago. Wish I'd reached out to Michael when I was thinking about him, when I was missing him, when I had the chance. But I didn't, and now he's gone. And I live with that, with knowing I waited too long, with knowing I missed my chance. But at least I'm not making that mistake again, not with other people, not with other friendships, not waiting until it's too late. The simple truth is this: people die, friends die, people you love die, and when they do, you don't get another chance. Don't get to make that call you were planning to make. Don't get to have that conversation you were planning to have. Don't get to rebuild that relationship you were planning to rebuild. You just get regret. Regret for not doing it sooner. Regret for waiting too long. Regret for thinking you had more time. Regret for all the years you lost because you were too busy or too proud or too something to pick up the phone and call. I have that regret now, about Michael, about my best friend from childhood, about 10 years we didn't speak, about all the things I never said, about the friendship I didn't maintain, about waiting too long. And I'm telling you this so maybe you don't have to have that regret, so maybe you'll reach out to whoever you're thinking about, whoever you've been meaning to call, whoever you missed but haven't contacted. Do it now, today, before it's too late. You know what I realized? We don't appreciate people while we have them. We take them for granted. We think they'll always be there. We think we have time. We think someday we'll reconnect. Someday we'll call. Someday we'll tell them what they mean to us. And then they're gone. And suddenly we see everything clearly. Suddenly we remember all the good times. Suddenly we appreciate what we had. Suddenly we understand how important they were. But it's too late. They're gone. And all we have is regret. I didn't think about Michael much during those 10 years. Didn't miss him constantly. Didn't feel like something was missing from my life. I was busy. Had other things to think about. Other priorities, other relationships. He was just someone from my past. Someone I used to know. Someone I'd reconnect with someday. But after he died, I couldn't stop thinking about him. About our friendship. About all those years when we were young. About how lucky I was to have a friend like that. About how rare that kind of friendship is. About how much it meant. About how stupid I was to let it go. Now I see it clearly. Now I appreciate it. Now I understand what I lost. But he's gone. And I can't tell him. Can't thank him. Can't be his friend again. I can only miss him. Only regret. Only wish I'd seen it sooner. Death shows us what matters. Shows us clearly. Without confusion. Without distraction. When someone dies, suddenly you see. You see what was important, what should have been a priority, what you should have appreciated while you had it. But why do we need death to show us? Why can't we see it while people are alive? Why can't we appreciate people before they're gone? Why do we wait until it's too late and then wish we'd done things differently? It's because we're human, because we think we have time, because we assume people will always be there, because we get distracted by daily life, by work, by problems, by things that seem urgent but aren't actually important. We forget that life is short, that people are temporary, that relationships are fragile, that time keeps passing whether we're paying attention or not. We forget until death reminds us, until someone we love is gone, until we can't ignore it anymore. Think about the people in your life right now, your spouse, your children, your siblings, your old friends, your parents if they're still alive, the people who love you, who care about you, who've been there for you. When was the last time you told them you appreciate them? When was the last time you really spent time with them? Not distracted, not rushed, not while thinking about other things, but really present, really there, really appreciating them. We think we have time, think we'll tell them later, think we'll spend time with them after we finish whatever we're busy with, think they know how we feel, think we don't need to say it, think tomorrow is soon enough. But tomorrow isn't guaranteed. People die, suddenly, unexpectedly, without warning. And then all the things you meant to say, all the time you meant to spend, all the appreciation you meant to show, it's too late. They're gone, and you're left with regret. Michael's death taught me something I should have known already. Don't wait to appreciate people. Don't wait to tell them what they mean to you. Don't wait to spend time with them. Don't wait until they're gone to realize what you had. Appreciate them now, while they're alive, while you can still talk to them, while you can still spend time with them, while they can still hear you say, "You matter to me, you're important. I'm grateful for you. I appreciate you being in my life." It sounds simple, obvious. Of course we should appreciate people while we have them. Of course we should tell them. Of course we should make time for them. Everyone knows that. Everyone understands that. But we don't do it. We wait. We postpone. We take people for granted. We assume they'll always be there, until they're not, until they're gone. Until we're standing at their funeral wishing we'd done things differently. I made myself a promise after Michael died. I promised I wouldn't make that mistake again. Wouldn't take people for granted. Wouldn't wait to appreciate them. Wouldn't assume I have time. I call my family more often. Tell them I love them, not just at holidays, not just on birthdays, regularly, because they should know, because I should tell them, because I don't know how much time I have with them. I reach out to old friends, not just the ones I talk to regularly, the ones I've lost touch with, the ones I've been meaning to call. I call them, tell them I was thinking about them, ask how they are, actually listen to the answer. I'm more present with people. When I'm with someone, I'm actually there, not on my phone, not thinking about work, not distracted, actually paying attention, actually appreciating the time we have together. Because I learned the hard way, you can't appreciate people after they're gone, can't tell them what they meant to you, can't make up for lost time, can't rebuild what you let fade. You can only regret, only wish you'd done it differently, only wish you'd appreciated them while you had them. Share this if you've lost someone you wish you'd stayed in touch with. Comment if you understand what it feels like to wait too long. Subscribe for honest conversations about relationships and loss.